What's the over under that Paul blushed like 9 shades of crimson when Faith came up and grinned and batted her eyes and gave him his trophy?
Very, very good chance. Very good chance.
Okay, just checking.
Tomah's one of the biggest tractor pulls in the country. We know that, everybody. It's just, we talked about this a lot, destination pull. You don't have to say, Charles always says, you don't even have to say the state. It's just Tomah, Chapel Hill, just words like that. And we're excited to have Chris Schreier on here. And we'll play our video quick, and I'm going to bring Chris and Doug on, and it's Tomah time, baby.
Hey, pulling fans, pound-pounding horsepower returns to Recreation Park June 22nd, 23rd, and 24th for the 48th annual Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals. Tomah, Wisconsin welcomes the National Tractor Pullers Association for 3 days of action-packed pulling on 2 tracks, 5 sessions, and 11 classes of high horsepower Grand National Truck and Tractor Pulling. Tickets and more information available at TomahTractorPull.com. Once again, go to TomahTractorPull.com for all the information you need. June 22nd through the 24th, it's the Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals in Recreation Park, Tomah, Wisconsin.
Hello, Chris Schreier. How are you, sir?
Hey, guys. How are we doing tonight?
Good. Sorry we kept you up late, but we knew you were going to be working all day anyway, so we weren't worried about it.
We're still down here getting things ready.
Yeah, that's good. Is Dave around, or is he in the porta potty? Keel?
Dave is not around tonight.
Okay, I'm just checking.
We took all his FaceTime the other day, I guess. When
he did not want to do that, Chris. And I said, you have no choice. You have about 32 seconds to get ready. And I was setting up the live stream on my phone. And here comes Doug rolling in and Chase Richardson's toter. So it was perfect timing. It was perfect timing.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you did that with him.
That's good. He was like, I'm not doing this, Jason. I said, no, you don't understand. You are. And I'm gonna follow you around with my camera until we can find that. Chris, what's the biggest crowd you've ever had in Tomah? Because I want to break it this week. What do you know the number?
Oh, wow. Numbers. You want me to remember numbers? I would say about 65,000. I can't give you an exact number, but that's total all weekend. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get it on.
That's one we used to run 6 sessions too.
Okay.
Instead of the 5.
I about threw up in my mouth a little bit. I don't know if we could beat that, Chris. I'm going to try. We've been trying hard, but I don't know. I don't know. Well, again, Budweiser Dairyland Super Nationals this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. TomahTractorPull.com, you guys, is the website for everything. We took some pictures yesterday, kind of the calm before the storm. I had never seen the campgrounds empty before. I'd always get there Thursday and then come flying in there, and I always end up parking down the road. And then the campgrounds are a lot of fun in Tomah. So Dave mentioned there was a couple spots left. If you're still interested in a camp spot for Tomah, maybe you can still get off of work or maybe sneak out Thursday and call in sick Friday and head up there. Do tickets come with your camp spots? How does that work, Chris?
Yes. If you go to the website, you can look at our ticket packages. There's a form in there for camping, and we do sell sites with a ticket package, so that can be done. And we do have sites available. So, but people have been calling in and booking up to the event. So,
yep. If the crowds in Tomah or anything like the crowds were in Hutchinson, you guys are going to have a phenomenal weekend. Chris, Doug and I were up there this past weekend, and it was there wasn't a place to sit on Friday night, honest to God. And then Saturday night, I would say it was about 90% full. And they were up against that music festival because Ricky and Julie were pretty worried. They've been up against that Windstock or some music festival the last couple of years. And the weather worked out. It was beautiful Friday night, and Saturday we thought we were going to get rained out, and then it kind of broke up. I know we need rain pretty bad, and people always say it rains at Tomah time, but man, the forecast right now is dry and hot. A lot of Budweiser beer drinking weather for your title sponsor, Chris.
That's what it looks like. Yep. And fortunate for them up there at Hutchinson, it did work out good. The rain came in on Sunday after everything was over, and
actually it started raining at about 11:30 on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Oh, it did. Okay.
Yep.
So they got it on Saturday night too.
Yep.
Good.
Ricky likes to take about a 10 or 15 minute intermission, just for food and beer sales and stuff like that. And Saturday night I went down to Marvin and I showed him the radar and I said, Marvin, please talk Ricky into not having an intermission tonight so we can get this pull in. And he goes, I'll handle that, Jason. So, and then they pounded it out as fast as they could because there was rain coming. And to Doug's point, we were over at Chase's trailer and a couple of the pullers talking to him, Brian McDonald and them. And as they were loading, Doug goes, it's starting to rain. And it did. They got a pretty good shower overnight and it rained on us on the way home on Sunday. So again, if you're just joining us, Chris Schreier, son of Dave Schreier. I got to say that because you guys, a legendary pulling name, pulling family, and Tomah. Colin Burkholz is sitting there licking the screen right now because he loves you so much, Chris. And he's already been on here a little bit. I saw you got Travis Schlaba on the billboard this year with the bone twister. I don't know. Tomah's just special. I live an hour south. It was a hoot. I passed the NTPA scoreboard on the way down from Hutchinson, and then passed a couple other pullers. And to get there and see Mike Connie was already there, and Foster's came rolling in when we were there. I don't know. I think I'm as excited as you are, Chris. I have to be. It's a great week. So.
Yeah, it's great to see everybody come back. It's like a family reunion for us, and every year we gain more families. So
yep, that's
some new ones coming in. So no, we all look forward to it.
I've always wondered, how do you pick the classes for a big super national like this for each session? How do you do it? Does Greg help, or do you guys kind of a pretty good feel? Or
no, you just throw them all in the hat and pull them out and see what comes up.
Honestly,
is that how you do things? No.
Yeah, I think everybody assumes that, but I'm a little organized.
No, we look at turnout for numbers, who supports the best, what's going on out there, what's going to be the best for the crowd. But with all the classes we run now, we pretty much run them all.
Yeah.
There's much to choose from outside of what we have. So it's just the hardest part is choosing the schedule based on numbers of what's going to show up and get the same time frame in each session.
Yep. Again, if you're just joining us, Chris Schreier, Tomah, Wisconsin this week, obviously. Monroe County Fairgrounds. Thursday night, 7 o'clock, right? Thursday night? It's noon and 7 every day, right? Or noon Correct. On Friday, 7 on Friday night. You keep it simple, I think.
Yep.
How long can people buy tickets on the website, Chris? That was a question I had earlier today.
Hold on once. I got to ask that question. Can we buy tickets online yet? Yes. Up until Wednesday.
Up until Wednesday? Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Amanda Stern says, can't wait. Our first time back in 5 years. They're from Northern Illinois, so it's good to see that they're coming up.
Yep.
That's great. Let's see, what else?
I'm going to throw something out there on road construction. As you know, everywhere around Wisconsin, it's hot and heavy. Even in the city of Tomah on the state highways. So advise people to come in early because there could be delays no matter which way you're coming in, north, south, east, west. Come in early because, as you know, you'll be standing in line anyway to get in the stands, and you want to get there not right before the show. You want to get there ahead of time. So plan accordingly.
Fair enough. Charles, Roos, Cody, Doug, you guys have any questions for Chris? Anybody out there watching have any questions for Chris?
I think we need to put a wager on how many two-wheelers are we going to have in Tomah? 34 at Farley.
87.
I think the Pro Stock tractor numbers are going to be dumb. I like the biggest we've seen. I think we're going to be 20 plus. That's my gut. I don't know. What do you think, Charles?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance of that. I feel like there's a good buzz going into this event, and the participation numbers are up. The crowds everywhere I go and what I see everywhere else too are up. I feel like this is a year for pulling to kind of have a coming back out party. And Tomah was probably one of the biggest ones to come along here. So, you really got a chance to move the bar.
No, that's kind of our thoughts with the calls we've been getting from pullers and fans and sponsors. Everything's going to be up the way it sounds this year. The entries are a little concerned. A lot of pullers haven't received some of the parts they needed to.
Yeah.
We've seen that in the early polls, and they're all trying to get them together for Tomah here. Yeah,
we've seen that. We've seen that across all the associations, Chris, because we're all very active on social media. And like I know Screamin' D, they're trying. We follow them. Looked like Kyle got out of Facebook jail today, and he made a post about the Screamin' D and finally getting some parts ready to go back in that. So when we talk about like James Kerr, this is a great comment. I'm glad he did this. He's driving up from Kansas City super early Friday morning. When do we need to arrive to be in the stands at noon? In other words, is the Friday afternoon really full? You're going to have a place to sit, James. Do not worry. You may not get a sit to 320-foot mark, but you're going to have a spot to sit. Chris, did I answer that properly? Or
yes, gates open at 2 hours prior to show, and it's general seating. So you'll have a place to sit. It's just a matter of really you get here, the better seat you get, as with anywhere.
Colin Burkholtz quit licking the screen long enough to type in that he's watching on YouTube. I remember the date, and Colin gets up like at 3 a.m. to go to work. This is how excited he is. I remember the days of 60 super farms. I do too. That one year, Chris, it rained, and then you guys went to like 4:15 in the morning. That's when that front end broke on that one, and that's the last 5 or 6 years, isn't it?
Yes, it was, and it was about 50 degrees that night. Every vendor sold out of sweatshirts because everybody wanted to stick around and watch that show that night. So we got a little trouble with the city on that one. Do not run that late anymore.
Now, who takes those oh shit calls, Schreier? Is that you, or does somebody else?
No, that's what Shay's for. She gets to take those calls. That's
okay.
What
oh, I'm sorry. Chris is really busy right now. He'll call you back on Monday.
Yeah. I did get personal calls that night. I was surprised my cell phone did ring that night about 2:00. How long are you guys going to stay at that?
Till it's done.
Till it's done. Yeah.
Amanda Cern says 25 pros, so we'll put the over/under at 25 pros. So
25 pros. Okay.
That'd be awesome.
I'll bet she's under.
We had 10 diesel supers on Friday night at Hutch, and then we had 6 on Saturday night. I love the diesel supers. I was all excited, and as didn't hurt his. And Roger Peterson had the big flame show. Doug, who else didn't make it back?
Birch made it back, but he burnt a piston.
Yep.
He should be fixed. I saw a post. Esden's got it back together again.
Good.
Yep.
Good. So
got to have a red line fever sighting. Tommy Owens, he won. They won Saturday night up there, and Brandon Simon won Friday night at Hutch. So he's licking the chops. Brett Berg's going to come down and whoop all their asses because he's scheming right now. He is not going to let that happen another weekend in a row because he got the win in Farley. So I love Brett Berg. He just walks around confident and smiles and just kind of stick a microphone in his face. He's like, dang it, Schultz, I don't want to talk on the microphone, but I'll do it for 30 seconds. And it was fun. It was a good time.
You mentioned, Brett, he's going to be in our kids club tent.
Yeah, that's so cool.
The kids, and it sounds he's going to pull them out over there too for them to take pictures at. And
last year, I swear it was 105 at the kids. Chris and Brett was over there in his fire suit, and I was like, man, you're a big deal, Berg. I said, you're in a sweatsuit over there. So let's see here. Somebody's watching. I was in Tomah yesterday and went westbound. 9094 is backed up. If they're coming from the south, I would suggest getting off in Camp Douglas exit and bring 12 and 16 to Tomah or the new Lisbon exit. So
not a bad idea. Yep.
Rudy's checking in from the Netherlands. I think he's here in the States, right? Rudy's here because he was in Maxville last weekend. I remember Colin being in the winner's circle every year he has competed at Tomah. Yeah, we don't want to jinx it, though. That's the problem, because if I said that, and then Bruce earlier said that Colin could hit me with a tack hammer or something like that. I feel like
yes, a tack hammer.
We might need to upgrade that to a framer.
A framer. The Schulte boys are begging you to make the Grand National Super Farms back in Tomah, Chris. So can you put that on your notes for next year?
We'll consider it. Yes, we'll put it in
Wyatt. You can bribe. They can be bribed. Schulte Performance.
Yeah.
Schulte Express Performance can do it like I don't know, $20,000 donation. Chris, with that,
bring in a big sponsor with that class. We'll consider it. Yes.
Yeah. See, that's how this works. Oh, that's Terry Benson that made the comment. Okay, cool.
Oh, did you, Terry? Okay.
Terry knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
And then Colin Burkholtz says Kids Club is the best. Can you kind of talk about the Kids Club a little bit, Chris? Is it Friday afternoon?
That is Friday morning. Friday morning at 9:00.
Yep.
Back by the pits, so the kids are right there where everything's happening to, and we have a tent for them to come in and color. We got T-shirts for them, free food, get autographs and cards from the pullers, so they get to actually meet and greet about 4 or 5 pullers. Yeah, and then if they want, they can go in the pits if they want, but each kid accompanied by adult, the adult gets in free to the.
Yep, it's neat. Last year, I think a couple daycares came in with kids, and it was a good. I bet there was 400 kids there, Chris, last year. I'm just taking a wild guess, but at least.
Yeah, and we expect as big or bigger crowds this year.
Yeah, that's great.
So for somebody who's never been to Tomah, what's the one thing that if anybody's never been that they should look forward to that Tomah has that nobody else has?
Well, besides the hospitality in this area, it's been really good. But our pits are open. I don't know how many other ones are really open to everybody. That's open. You don't pay until you get into the stands. We do have some arts and crafts flea market type thing, vendors out in front. that they can enjoy and come and see. Food is phenomenal on the grounds, but just the seating, every seat in the stands is best seat in the house. You can't beat that.
Well, everybody talks about like this atmosphere in Tomah, in Bowling Green and stuff, and like the big name polls in. It's one of those, like, if you've never been, you just want to go just because of the atmosphere that everyone tells me, about it. So,
yeah, everybody's having a great time, but it's still family oriented. It's comfortable. You can be in the stands and you gain new friends when you're in the stands. You always want to come back and see them again. And we got people that sit together every year. They look forward to seeing that family reunion too, same as with the Pullers.
One thing I think is cool is if you're on the pit side of the grandstand seating, you're in amongst everybody, all the pullers. The guys that aren't pulling are there watching, and they're in with the common folk. It's just cool.
Yeah.
Tomah has a beer band or a band in the beer tent. That's Cody. That's one of the answers right there.
Yeah,
it's a hoot.
Yeah, between both sessions, on Friday and Saturday, there is beer tents right next to the grandstand, and there's a band both afternoons.
And he's not even old enough to be drinking in the beer tent.
Morgan's a polling connoisseur. You know that. So, the Playing with Fire semi team says from Ryan, Euros. So Euros is what his favorite thing to
That's
eat at home
what it
is.
comes for. Good.
If I remember right, Jordan and Misty told me that ice cream with cranberries, is that what
With
it's?
cranberry sauce on them at the dinner, yes.
Misty said that's the move.
Yeah.
She said that's the thing. She said win, lose, or draw, or rain out, we eat some ice cream up there.
Yep. And we have one of the largest areas here in Wisconsin for cranberry growers.
Mm-hmm.
That the northeastern states have it too, but Wisconsin's got quite a few acres of cranberries here. So,
yep,
full support
what kind
of the event.
Chris, what kind of economic impact does the event have on the city of Tomah and the surrounding area? What kind of an economic? Have you guys ever done a study on that?
Yeah, we do a survey. The DW of La Crosse comes in, helps us with a survey about every 5 years. We do that to keep tabs on our demographics and things like that. And it's been consistent. About $15 million is put in, not to just Tomah, but the surrounding community with the hotels and restaurants and gas stations and the stores, retail stores and that. So just during that week, it puts that much money into this area.
Say that again. That was 15 or 50?
15.
15. Okay.
15, yeah.
Well, just in the 20 minutes we were at Quick Trip yesterday, putting fuel in for Chase before we pulled in. There was 3 haulers in there filling up with fuel.
Yeah, I saw that post. That was pretty cool. And they're a major sponsor of ours,
Right.
For the Thursday night session and for the whole show. But yeah, great support. Yeah, and just sitting there already.
Let's see here. The camping's we always talk about is a big part of the the party atmosphere. It makes it like a five session like event like this really work, Chris. For people to take vacation time and have a good time. Have you guys always had camping, or is that something you kind of added over the years?
Well, camping we've had for I bet you 20 years. We used to rent the field across, and we temporarily put power in for the campsites and everything. And about 15 years ago, we bought the field from the local farmer there. We got about 30 acres, maybe more than that, 45 acres, about 600 campsites.
What's the craziest thing that you can say on the show that's happened in the campgrounds?
I haven't been over there that much, but
come on, Schreier, tell us the truth. Tell us the truth.
Well, I can't get anybody in trouble for that, or let people know what I do after the poll's over with either. So, but you see the guys; they're all having a good time. You see the guys with the hot tubs and their own portable bars set up.
Yep.
Yeah.
You took me to that one people on the end last year. We did our live interview on your golf cart, and they said they've been coming. I can't believe how many years, and the people they had T-shirts made. I mean, it was like a legit family reunion, like a fun family reunion. One you'd actually want to go to. So.
Yeah. There's groups probably of 15 people at a time that just every year they come, and you're right. It's been years and years.
Yeah.
The campsites or the campground was the best thing we ever did to get the people together and keep them close to the grounds.
Bands in the beer tent Friday are Millennial Mayhem and Saturday Entourage. So you're
Correct. Thank
probably
you.
Shay doing that. Robert Miner's checking in from Nebraska. He's a first timer ever coming to Tomah. What do you have for food and where's a good place to sit? I'm coming from Niobrara, Nebraska. Did I say that right, Roos or Cody? Niobrara?
Theoretically.
Theoretically. Yep.
Best
Yeah,
food.
everything.
That's tough. We got everything for food. So
Yeah.
he's got to try just about everything that's on the Midway. Best place to sit, well, depends on who you are, but everybody wants to sit at 300-foot mark.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter which side of the track you're on. So
Morgan Schulte mentioned that you do have two grandstands with canopies over the top. Not many places have that canopy, and that really makes a huge difference if you have kiddos and different things like that, especially because that old sun can be warm those afternoon sessions.
yes. Yep.
Robert, go back and listen to this when it comes up tomorrow as a podcast. Doug gave some pretty good advice there too about where to sit.
Colin Burkholt says the mini donuts; those are his favorite. He doesn't eat those until after he scales the tractor, though. I just want to be clear about that. So,
Colin would.
yep.
Donuts.
Colin's actually sitting in front of the place where they park right now, like as we speak. He's got a lawn chair there.
How many haulers are there now, Chris?
He's waiting for the donuts.
I say right around 20 to 25,
Okay.
probably. Yeah.
I think there was 10 or so. Dave said yesterday the first ones were there at 9 o'clock yesterday. So
Yeah, we actually had one that came in Saturday. Corsica
wow.
came in because he broke at Farley, and he called me. He said, "I don't know when I'm going to be back." He said, "But we got to run down to Sonny's, get new motor put in, dyno it, and get it back here." And he didn't figure he'd get here till about Wednesday or Thursday this week, and he rolls in Saturday. I said, "We'll find you a spot.
Yep.
That's fine."
Morgan, they're helping with the new super farm. We don't want to hear it, Morgan, unless you tell us who it is, okay? Because we like to start rumors on the show. Let's see here.
Ghost tractors.
What's that?
Ghost tractors. It's not real till it's
Yeah, it's called Vapor Farm at this
Vapor
point.
Farm.
Vapor farm.
Not
Camping's
Vaporware,
still
Vapor
available.
Farm.
Camping's still available. Call the office to reserve a spot.
Yes.
Terry Benson says people stay at 2-bed and breakfast in my hometown of Hustler for the pull. The only hustler in the U.S. town. There's only one hustler? Huh.
Town. Yeah.
We're going to have to search that. We're going to have to Google that. Charles, can you Google that for us?
What am I searching for again? Sorry.
The Hustler. Is there any other towns named Hustler in any other state other than Wisconsin?
Boy, I don't know. We're going to find out.
The chauffeur ride to and from the campgrounds. Absolutely. Talk about that a little bit. People don't have to walk. They can jump on the wagons and away they go. So.
Yep. Yep. We have a shuttle there that runs all day long. So, yep.
There
That's
are
Chris
two.
Gibber.
There are two hustlers, one in Wisconsin and one in Mississippi.
Oh no.
There you go, Terry Benson. A little fact check there for you, buddy. Has Chris ever met the Skellen brothers? Anybody who's ever been to Tomah's met the Skellen brothers. Okay?
Everybody's from the Skellen brothers. Yep. They make a point to greet me. Or come and see me every year.
Yeah. Roger Rui says Niobrara. So I don't know, but that doesn't help. Roger, that doesn't help me say it. So I'm gonna keep moving there.
You have to do like a little parentheses and a little dash and like sound it out.
Amanda Stern, if you have small kids, please.
Amen.
Protection. Yep.
And if not, patronize one of the vendors. There are no less than 20 vendors who will have them on site. I'm sure of it.
We have everything from barbecue, burritos, gyros, burgers, and more. Have to come check it out. Wow.
And cheese curds.
Oh yeah. Best cheese curds in the state or the country here, probably.
Ellsworth has entered the chat.
Those were
Well,
They may have something to say about this.
Yeah.
I think it's
Chris
a toss
Albert.
between Ellsworth and Carr Valley. At least that's what the argument will be. I know who I'll side with, but
Oh, another vote for Super Farm Grand National next year. Here it comes.
Okay. Got two of them.
Yep. Bring Brenton Rogers checking in. Jason Skillen says, I'll be there tomorrow afternoon. Chris Kellberger says, I'd be there right now if work didn't get in the way. Chris, I think that's a very common theme. That whole real job thing. That really just.
So wouldn't we all?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't we all?
Chris, typically or historically, what class is it that the crowd as a general whole goes bonkers for the most?
Oh wow.
I feel like it's an unlimited mod or semis or diesel supers. Am I on the right track there or no?
You know, the minis have come around again.
Have they?
They used to get in, now they're back around again. The semis usually always hold the crowd at night,
Mm-hmm.
for the night show. And the unlimiteds have always been that way too. It's a toss up. It really is. But what really brings in the crowd is I'm going to say it's the smoker classes, because that's where we started too.
Yeah.
They've got such a big family out there with friends and relatives, and the people still making the attempt to farm yet. So, but there you go. That's really hard to say. You put a 4-wheel drive truck there in a session, and they've got a great following too. So that's where we have the toughest part, is really how do you schedule the classes early in the session or late or at night or during the day. It's just, I think in Tomah, they all have their own crowds, but going back, I'd say the semis, people don't see them all the time, so they really stick for that.
Chris, what was it like back in the day having to run 3 tracks?
We only did that, I think, 1 year.
There's your answer. It was silly.
It went off good. It's just, it was too confusing watching it, for the crowd to keep track of what's going on each track. It's too much. But we have the space to do it, but it just wasn't the right thing to do. So.
Brenton Rogers, 2 years ago, Tomah asked Jason for a Massey Beer Money Pulling Team shirt. Unless I missed it, I'm still waiting on it. They're still at the printers, Brenton. They're back ordered, along with the crankshafts for the V8 Pro Stocks. They're Charles, they're at the mill. Do I say that right?
Yeah, they're on the mill.
They're on the mill. Cool. Chris, we're gonna let you go here in a few minutes. I know you're busy, but are there any classes that you try to get out and sneak out and watch, or you just literally have no time for 5 sessions?
No, I try to watch a little bit of all of them, just to see the guys. I don't think there's any one class that I'd actually go out. Esden would probably be the one his class, because that's the class we were in, and I've got a sister that's kind of involved with that team, as you know.
Kind of involved.
Kind of, just a little bit.
When your brother-in-law is Esden Lane, Chris, I think it's more than just kinda.
yeah, exactly. So no, that's probably one of my. We started in Super Stock, so that's the class I usually try to watch the most of, see how those guys are doing yet.
Yep. Ryan, I want you to ask your promoter question, and then we've asked Chris the "What would you drive?" question, but that's still fun because not everybody's seen every one of our Chris Schreier interviews. So
that's true. So, what's the key to making a Tomah? What's the key to the longevity from a sponsorship or from a promotion or an advertising, or what's the thing that keeps everybody coming back?
Well, I would say community support is one thing. You got to get the show put on first. Mm-hmm. But man, reputation of putting on a good show, a quality show, one that the crowd can enjoy. I mean, we've been at this many years, and we've had to perfect things too as we go along. It doesn't come that easy, but pick the right classes that'll draw the crowd initially, and then just grow from there. But you need that community supporting you, because there's a lot of things going on, and then you bring your sponsors in that want to get involved and realize what you can do for them with the crowd that you bring in. Treat the pullers right, and they'll always come back. We were a puller and a promoter, and if you don't treat that puller right, he has no interest in going to your pull, except he's got to, unless he's running points and things like that. So we try to do that the best we can. It's a hospitality on both sides, whether it's in the stands or in the pits. And I hope we're doing a good job. That's all I can say.
All right. So then on the other side of that coin, the easier question for you, I suspect, if you could take anything past or present and go pulling with it for a night and not have to pay for it if you wreck it, what are you taking and where are you pulling it and why?
Oh man. Last time we talked, I'll throw that out. There was a pro stock. But after thinking about that too, we ran smokers and super stock and that. And, if Brett would let me hop in the seat of his tractor, I'd like to at least try that once. As far as where, how about the whole circuit?
Chris, you're taking some liberties here, buddy.
I was going to say that might be a first that somebody's said the whole circuit.
I think it is.
Yeah, that would be fun to hop in one of those and just see what they do in the feeling.
Brandon Simon just checked in. He says it's top notch. He loves Tomah. I mean, when you get big name pullers like that, I mean that kid was born at Tomah probably or conceived.
Oh
at
yeah, yeah.
We'd have to check. But what's the last year that you actually pulled a vehicle in Tomah? One of your guys's.
Oh, that goes back to probably. Well, one of ours would have been 80.
Okay.
Yeah, Dad pulled after that, but he had his own tractor. We had the other one parked by then.
Gotcha.
So,
Colin Burkholt says, any ideas or plans for the 50th coming up? Because this is year 48, right? This year?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 2 years. No, there's things we're kicking around, but Colin is really local. So, Colin, if you have some ideas, bring them along. We'll get together and we can add whatever we need to make it spectacular.
Chris, if I was you, I'd probably take Colin's class out, so he could just enjoy all 5 sessions that year.
No, that might not be a bad idea. He could sit
That's
in
a good
the stands
idea.
and watch everybody then. Yeah.
That's a good idea. No, actually don't. He looks so pitiful in the stands. I actually have a picture of him that almost broke my camera from Hillsboro last year.
Oh, shoot.
You have his best pouty face on.
Oh, Pouty McPouty face. His dad was even worse.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Colton Bartelt coming in with knowledge. Chris, did you ever pull at the Colby Cheese days in the early 90s with the John Deere 4000 or 4010?
Yes, it was a 4010, and they didn't want me coming back to Colby because I always went back to it with too many trophies. I went up there, I don't remember what year it was, 92, 3, I had a 4010. We were pulling blacktop back then. And I don't remember, I think it was 4 classes I entered. I won 3 and broke the sled in the 4th one. So I didn't get to win.
That's why we can't have nice things, Chris.
No, people break.
Stop breaking that.
Yes. They weren't happy with me that night, but it was great night. Great people up that way. A lot of great supporters for pulling up.
WTPA, all that. They do well.
Yep.
So, man, Colton's going crazy tonight. He has that on VHS. He has a picture with Charlie Barons at a Packer game. That's awesome. 1994, and he beat the old nasty John. All right. That's some history there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the Lynn boys are from up that way then.
Yep.
They
Yep.
A lot of stories of us pulling against them when they were pulling on blacktop too. So no, it was all good people. We had a lot of fun.
Man, Morgan Schulte needs to go to bed, guys. Chris, favorite year and favorite sled from the Tomah days. What would you be? Is there a decade of favorites, or is it all you just love all of it?
Oh, for me, when we were pulling, yeah. I guess the mid 70s through 80, because we won the class championship in 80. Dad got first, I got 4th in the 7,000 pound super stock class. But the sleds back then, Lutke was pretty much number 1 sled back in those days. And then Hager came around along with Bowers. So I think sled wise, if you're talking sleds, Vaughn's bought everything a long ways.
Yep.
When he started building sleds. So
Colton says that was their hometown pull. Nasty John became Wagner's power up. Okay. Knew that. Chris Karlberger wants to know, for Colby Cheese days, did you win a wheel of cheese?
No.
Sounds like you won at least 3 of them.
No, it wasn't a little cheese. Geez, seems like that was the one, though, where they had the chopper box that you could win.
Yeah, Meyer, right?
Meyer did that. Yeah, they did.
I had 3 chances to get that chopper box, and I didn't get it. So went to somebody in another class.
Dang it. Dang, look. I love how we're talking about Tomah. Here we go off on tangents about wheels of cheese.
And Meyer chopper boxes.
Yep.
They used to give away Myers was Dorchester. Okay, Myers was Dorchester, and they used to give away H&S. Wow.
Okay.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's round it out. Thursday, 7:00. I know. Is there like a senior night? Then there's a veterans night. Can you talk about all that real quick, Chris?
Yeah, Veterans Night is Friday night. We'll talk about that. We have a salute to the veterans, discount for them for tickets. But we do the ceremony, the pre-show ceremony. People have to show for that. That's the motorcycle parade. That'll start around 6:15. Get in the stands to watch that. Along with, we have some dignitaries from both bases up here, Fort McCoy and Volkfield, coming in that we'll introduce, along with some representatives from the Legions and VFWs, things like that. But it's a great show. Thursday night, we talked a little bit Quick Trip, $5 off your ticket if you have Quick Trip app or receipt from Quick Trip within the last week.
That's an easy one for everybody in the Midwest. So get that one done.
Yep. Stop at Quick Trip on your way there and grab a receipt, and you can get in a little cheaper. And then Saturday afternoon, we have our salute to the FFA at that session.
Awesome.
So, no, the pre-shows are pretty nice. Not much on Thursday night, but Friday and Saturday, you want to be there for them.
So if you could get one attendance number, Chris, that would make you and the team happy there this year in 5 sessions. What would it be, honestly?
All 5 sessions. If we could hit that 50,000 mark.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, when we're hitting the 60,000, we were standing room only for 3 sessions.
Yep.
And we had turned people away a few years.
So it was like Friday night every session, basically.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, how long ago was that?
I would say the late 90s into the early 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've had consistent crowds since then, but it just isn't like that. And I think there's a lot more polls that they can go to now than they used to. You know, bigger polls. They've changed a lot over the years.
Yes.
So, but the competitor numbers have stayed up real well for us over all those years. So this year, I think we're going to see a record number of them maybe again.
People do a lot of crazy stuff to get ready for Tomah with their vehicles. So, cool. Well, Chris, thank you for your time tonight. We know you have a busy week, and I know Doug's coming up tomorrow. We're gonna start doing video stuff, and it's gonna be a great week. Thanks for letting us be part of your event. We'll see you soon.
No, I appreciate you doing this. No, we hope to see you guys this weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
Yeah,
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks, Chris.
Tomah. Bruce, where are you going this weekend, buddy?
One final note on Tomah. For those of you who are already in town, or competitors who are in early, any of you who pulled with Mike Linehan or Mike and Ann, as you probably know, we lost Mike fairly recently. I think it was last year. Is that right? Last year?